Soto, and I'm a Mexican journalist. I represent HUATULCO Food Film Festival, and I'm here at the 36th Montreal World Film Festival. The festival that is directed and founded by Serge Losic. I found it a very personal festival where always there are great surprises. It's a big choice for the people that we love author films. I have been coming for the festival for the past 14 years, and every year I get a great surprise. This year I like very much an Austrian film. It's called Coming of Age. It's a love story about aged people over 80 years old. It's a film directed by Sabine Hepler and Gerald Gere. So I find it one of the interesting films founded in this festival, besides that films like the Hungarian The Exam that shows all the repression during the 50s in Hungary. And as well, I like very much the film The Trial by Jean Troel. But nevertheless, there are directors like Jean Troel, there are presences like Lee Bullman, presences like Danny Houston, that you can talk with them without any formality. It's a festival to invite the people to participate directly in short with great directors, with great actors, without any kind of protocol. Let's say it's a festival that allows the people to live the movies.
Tell us about your festival.
Well, besides this festival, and I came, as a matter of fact, as a representative of HUATULCO Film Food Festival, a specialized festival that takes the food as main subject, as it had happened in Italy in the slow food on film festival. It was the very first festival thematic about food. Later on there appeared another one in Spain. It's called Cinegurland. And I think that nowadays the Berlinale has a section related for food. San Sebastian has a culinary section, and day by day movies are more related. I say more because there has always been a very near relation between film and food. Great directors like Buñuel, they love the food. They even wrote one chapter of his biography, El Último Suspiro, talking about the food and the drink he loved. But filmmakers like Coppola, that he was a wine company, filmmakers like Hitchcock, that he really loved food, and film writers like Dr. Gelsi in Italy, they had made wonderful essays about the food in the films like Fellini, the food in the films like Hitchcock, the food in the films like Claude Chabrol, that he himself wrote a book. So I think that most festivals are trying to do a festival about this subject, that it's very interesting and it's very deep relation between filmmakers and food.
So there are a few festivals about wine there. Have you attended some?
Yes, well, certainly wine and food is part of the same. I think that it's the pleasure of enjoying the table, the pleasure in taking the food as a form of art in certain way, and day by day the chefs are considered as a special kind of artist, maybe an ephemeral art, but finally artist. And that subject, it's of course as part of our lives, it's part of the movies. Even we cannot talk about movies without talking about food. Even the Lumiere brothers, one of the first scenes shot in the history of movies, it's a mother feeding his baby. So since the Lumiere brothers to nowadays, film and food has been all together. In the particular way of Mexico, a great essayist, his name was Alfonso Reyes. He was mentor of people like Octavio Paz or even Jorge Luis Borges. He was the very first who made essays about movies in Mexico, and he started to writing about movies in 1917. And later on, in the 20s, he started writing about Mexican food. There were people that wrote about food, but not particularly as a Mexican food. So he was so important for both disciplines that the Filmotheque of Mexico, his theater, it's called Fósforo, the pseudonym of this writer, Alfonso Reyes. He used his honor by naming the theater Fósforo in honor to Alfonso Reyes.
Okay, last, tell us about the festival figures, like how many films, what is showing, what is the experience like being in Huatulco?
Well, in Huatulco Film Festival that this year, 2012, from the 21st to the 25th of November, we will screen short films chosen mainly in Cannes. Even here in Montreal, we choose two wonderful short films. One, it's The Banquet of the Concubine, an animation by the Organisation Nationale du Film of Montreal, and many other films that we have collected from Cartagena, Colombia, a wonderful film called El Miedo y la Gallina, The Fear and the Chicken, and a lot of diversity of food, a lot of diversity of cultures, and we search for many countries that participate. Even we have material from Uganda, Australia, and many other countries.
Okay. And what are any special events related to food?
Yes, certainly we have tastings. Oaxaca has a very deep tradition into Mexican food, so we do a contest about Mexican pre-Hispanic food, and it's very important because it's not enjoying the pleasure of the food, but it's showing all the ingredients that come from that new world by the time, and particularly in Mexico, like the chocolate, that means cacao, like the vanilla, like the corn, like the turkey, like the watermelon, like peanuts, like avocado, like tomato. Without tomato, we cannot talk about the Mediterranean food, and that certainly came from Mexico. So it's important for the culture and important for enjoying the food. We make other tasting and other contests about contemporary Mexican food to find recipes that can be tasted not only in Mexico but in other places in the world, like the Peruvians, that the Peruvians are the Latin American food most well positioned in worldwide. I think that Mexican food has to follow that idea to show not only in Mexico, in other places in the world, how rich and the diversity of that food.
Okay, a toast to this. Long life to the festival. Thank you.
Long life to filmfestivals.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much.